For more, we can bring in France 24's Nadia Massih from our International Affairs desk. Nadia, is this a pathway to normalizing ties between Saudi Arabia and Israel?
I think it's too early to say for certain, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a pathway to normalization. And that's for a few reasons. First of all, as you say, the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain have already done this, and they've apparently done it in coordination with Saudi Arabia, who led a lot of the behind the scenes talks to get those deals inked. And when they were made public, we didn't see great anger in the streets of Bahrain or the United Arab Emirates. I think that's suggesting to Saudi Arabia that they could do something similar without angering their population. Now, the second reason, I think, is because for years now, Saudi Arabia and indeed many other Arab states have only really paid lip service to the Palestinian cause. You know, on paper, Saudi Arabia says a deal with Israel is only possible when there is a meaningful Palestinian state. But in reality, Delano, a Palestinian state has probably never looked further away in our lifetimes than it does right now. So I think Saudi Arabia is trying to be quite pragmatic here. And that's why we've seen this kind of change of tone in Saudi Arabia in the past couple of months. Things like more articles about Israel appearing in the Saudi press, about culture, about Israeli politics. It's sort of just becoming a less taboo issue in Saudi Arabia. And the third and crucial final reason, I think, is because probably the Saudi leadership and the Iranian leadership have more that unites them than divides them. And by that, I really mean Iran. Both countries fear Iran's role in the wider Middle East. You know, Israel sees it as a country that is funding Hezbollah and Hamas, two groups that have fought wars with it on its borders. Saudi Arabia sees it as a kind of great existential rival in the Middle East, whether that is in Yemen or in Syria. So certainly, look, this is not a normalization deal yet, but I think the groundwork may well be being laid right now.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has declined to comment on that public meeting which took place last night in Saudi Arabia. I want to ask you, what is Saudi Arabia's goal here? Is it also, like you said, to isolate Iran?
I think, well, yes, certainly, as I said, isolating Iran is important here. But I think there is a kind of bigger goal for Mohammed bin Salman, and that is to make Saudi Arabia seen more accepted on the world stage, specifically on the American stage. Joe Biden, during the election campaign, described Saudi Arabia as a pariah state. And I think Mohammed bin Salman would really like to ditch that image of his nation. He knows they've had a pretty easy run under a Donald Trump White House, and that Joe Biden has been far more critical of them, whether that is on the war in Yemen or indeed the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. And I think Saudi Arabia is well aware that if they want to continue to have good relations with the most powerful country in the world, they need to change, or they need to look like they're making change, whether that is making women feel more included in sports, in driving in Saudi Arabia, or whether that is indeed this normalization with Israel. And I think Saudi Arabia it sees how the Palestinian cause is an issue that concerns fewer people in its borders. It sees how far away peace on the ground looks between Israel and the Palestinians, and it thinks, what's to lose by trying to normalize ties with Israel?
Indeed. Nadia, thank you very much for that. Nadia Massih reporting there.